Going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney. Defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 3 years. You're ordered to pay the $300 fine and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. If you do that, this is a great opportunity because you don't have a felony conviction on your record. You successfully complete the probation, the case will be dismissed at the end. You'll never have the felony conviction. The other side of that is if you violate any condition of probation, you can be brought back into court and you can be found guilty and sent to the state jail prison for anywhere between 6 months and up to 2 years. Do you understand? Good morning. Are you Isaiah Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Brown was previously here and entered a plea of guilty in cause number 25 DCCR 0356. And I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the report?
Yes, Your Honor.
On behalf of Ms. French, Your Honor, she and I have reviewed the PSI. I do have, as the court may already have, a question about his version or
Yep.
acceptance of responsibility as reflected on page 1 at the very bottom.
Yes, sir.
And aside from that as well, Judge, I can certainly understand why the court would want to renew some type of scrutiny. I didn't negotiate the plea agreement in this case, Judge, and it's the facts, and I can understand the court may scrutinize this.
And just for the record, Ms. French did call me last week in regards to the PSI. Prior to Ms. French being on the case, we reviewed this thoroughly with the previous prosecutor. We watched the videos together. And there was also issues and obviously contacting complaining. So that had
I'm okay with that right now. I think what I want to do before I go forward though, Mr. Brown, if I test you, you're gonna have anything in your system? Okay, let's double check that before we go forward. Have a seat in the jury box. Good morning. Are you Bonita Graham?
Oh, yes.
Pull your mask down so I can, are you sick?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you have?
I had chemo earlier.
Okay,
cancer.
gotcha. So just if you'll do it while you're up here without
Yes,
a lot of people, that way I can understand you better.
Okay.
And will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment and the
Sure.
motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Graham, in cause number 25 DCCR 0734, you're charged with the state jail felony offense of credit or debit card abuse from January 3rd of 2025. And how do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you pleading guilty because you did what they've charged you with?
Yes, ma'am.
I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state's marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Ms. Holmes?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you fully understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
And it looks like there's not an agreement. You're asking for probation. The state's attorney is asking for state jail. I want to make sure you understand that you have an absolute right to have a jury come in and determine 2 things. The first would be to decide if you're guilty or not. And then if they find you guilty, you could leave your punishment up to them. If we go forward this way, you're waiving that right and leaving it up to the court. And it looks like, is there a waiver of
Yes.
post-conviction? And so when whatever I do, you're agreeing that you will kind of be stuck with that no matter what it is, as long as it's within that punishment range. Is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand, if you're not a US citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State offenders number 1 in that case.
Object.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Ms. Graham's not competent?
No, Your Honor.
Graham, in cause number 25 DCCR 0734, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and understand the nature and the consequences of your plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case so that the probation department can do a pre-sentence report, and then we will come back later for sentencing.
Yeah.
And then let me get to this other. Now, in cause number 23, DCCR 1828, I have a motion to revoke your community supervision. This shows that you were placed on probation December 12th of 2023 for the offense of credit or debit card abuse, a state jail felony. That was a 2-year term in the state jail prison, but it was probated for 3 years. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It alleges you violated your probation. Count 1 alleges that you committed the new offense of credit debit card abuse that we just went through from January 3rd of 2025. And is that true or not true?
Yes, ma'am.
True or not true?
True, I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
Count 2 alleges that you are behind in your court assessed fees as of July 2nd of 2025 in the amount of $2,881. And is that true or not true?
True,
Did you enter your pleas of truth in that case freely and voluntarily?
yes,
And because they're actually true?
yes,
All right, then I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1 and 2 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true, find sufficient evidence to revoke your probation. However, I'm going to reset that also for sentencing when we'll get the updated pre-sentence report done on that case. And then we'll take care of both cases at the same time on sentencing. If there's anything important that you think I should know, make sure and get that information to Ms. Holmes. She will present it to me on your behalf when we come back. As you're leaving the courtroom today, you need to stop and talk to probation. She's at that desk right over there. All right, we'll see you back at sentencing.
Okay.
Good morning, you're Isaiah Tyson.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is 25 DCCR 1538. And then we've got 22-40817 and 22-40818. We got-
Judge, if
Go
we could
ahead.
take a quick break and let me talk to Ms. Holmes, I think we might be able to sort this out today. I'll just let you know, my review of the new case indicates it probably does not need to proceed much further.
Okay.
And I'd like to discuss one option with her.
Let me hold those then.
Okay.
Have a seat. Wait for Ms. Holmes to visit with you. Mr. Lewis, you have a sentencing on Clifford Norman.
Your Honor, the state's proceeding on the lesser offense of attempted in this
Okay.
case, and further seeking to punish that attempted state jail under 1244 as a misdemeanor.
Punishment as a misdemeanor or conviction as a state jail, punishment as a misdemeanor.
Yes, ma'am.
So regular 1244. Okay, thank you. And you're DeMark Cole.
Yes, ma'am.
And will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
He does, Judge.
Mr. Cole, in cause number 25 DCCR 0282, the state has elected to proceed on the lesser offense of an attempted giving false information for license registration, which is a state jail felony. And that's from November 8th of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you pleading guilty because you did what they've charged you with?
Yes, ma'am.
I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state's marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you fully understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
And it looks like the agreement that you've reached is for a 1-year deferred probation. Okay. This says Class A misdemeanor punishment with a 3rd-degree felony conviction. That's not correct. That's the paperwork. It's a state jail
It's
felony
state,
because
yes,
it's,
Yes, Judge, that's incorrect.
but there is no conviction at this, or there is, y'all click
No.
deferred.
No,
So it's deferred.
It's deferred.
it is deferred, no conviction at this time.
That's right, Judge.
So 1244 doesn't mean anything right now. Y'all
Then-
just are agreeing to a state jail felony probation.
Right.
If he violates, then it's whatever it is.
Okay.
I mean, are y'all agreeing now, though, if he violates the state jail felony, that it's for sure gonna be a 1244 punishment?
Judge, yes, because this is essentially a misdemeanor.
Yeah, we just couldn't get it.
This is a misdemeanor. He
Okay.
tried to register a vehicle that he shouldn't have.
Sure,
registered.
so I just want to make sure if something does happen and he comes back, that the paperwork kind of looks like it's supposed to. So it's a Class A misdemeanor punishment. And really, there's no conviction, so I'm gonna just not mark that at all.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do, with everyone's permission, is make a notation on the
Okay.
agreed punishment recommendation page that if there is a violation, the state agrees to 1244. Correct?
Yes, no
Both of
objection.
you agree that, okay.
Yeah, no objection.
No, it's still a state jail felony. They're just agreeing to something, hopefully that we'll never have to get to, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It is a lesser included. It's attempted. It's an attempted. It's one less because it's an attempted.
Right out of the gate, this is serious. When someone pleads true to a count, they're essentially admitting the violation. That puts the judge in a powerful position moving forward. But here's the real question. Is the court leaning toward giving him another chance? Or setting him up for a harsher fall if he messes up again? Let me know what you think.
I just added that if it's a violation of probation, the state agrees to 1244 misdemeanor punishment. That's everybody's agreement.
No objection.
Okay. So the agreement then is for that 1 year deferred probation, there would be a $250 fine. You would be required to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. Do you understand?
Yes.
And what the agreement is that if you violate your probation, you could be brought back in to court. You could be found guilty of the state jail felony, which would be a state jail felony conviction. And you could go under this agreement to the Jefferson County Jail for a period of not to exceed 1 year. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you a US citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
State tenders number one,
No objection, Judge.
it's admitted. Any evidence that Mr. Cole is not competent?
No objection.
Any reason not to go forward with sentencing based on the nature of that plea?
Not at all, Judge.
Sorry, hear me too. You would have thought a snake jumped out at me. I was ready to run. All right. I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily.
Yes, ma'am.
Find to the attempted state jail felony freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney and defer all proceedings and place you on probation. I think we can do 1 year. I think 2 years is the minimum on a state jail, right?
But we can do a 1 year, we could, 2 years is the max probation, but we can do a lesser of 1 year. probation.
Not for a state jail felony. 2 to 5 on a state jail felony.
Well,
Y'all are
but we're punishing it as a misdemeanor, which the misdemeanor punishment range applies. We're limited, when we punish it as a misdemeanor, we're limited to the misdemeanor punishment range.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you, Jody?
We've
Okay.
done it before, just I remember how I wrote it.
So it's gonna be I mean, it's a state jail felony, but no matter what,
If punished. as a
it's
misdemeanor.
going to be punished as a misdemeanor. Even if a violation, there would be a state jail felony conviction, but the punishment, if violated, would be misdemeanor. So we'll do misdemeanor punishment at this point of the 1 year deferred probation with the $250 fine. And so if you follow all of these rules and conditions, this is a great opportunity. You don't have the conviction on your record.
Yes.
If you violate any condition of probation, you can be brought back into court. You could be found guilty of the offense, which is the state jail felony. So you would be a convicted felon. And you could go to the Jefferson County Jail for up to 1 year. Do you understand? All right, I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed. And so you've waived your right to appeal. If you'll just have a seat here in the courtroom, probation will call you up to her desk when she's ready to go over your paperwork.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank you.
good luck to you, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
The guy said he needed drug, for the drug test. We'll ask him, and if he's clean, then we'll
Yes.
take care of the case.
Tyson, where is he? Mr. Tyson, come up and have a seat in the jury box. We're gonna get you drug tested real quick.
More.
Good morning, sir. You're Presley Viltz. And Mr. Viltz, let me get this pulled up, sorry. Okay. In cause number 24, DCCR 2312, you're charged with a state jail felony offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle from August 1st of 2024. What that means, sir, is that if you go to trial and you're found guilty, the range of punishment would be between 6 months and up to 2 years in a state jail prison. Do you understand? And I have here on the tablet a plea bargain rejection that you've signed with Mr. Lewis that shows that the district attorney's office has made an offer if you wanted to enter a plea of guilty. For a 5-year deferred probation, there would be a $500 fine. You would be required to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. That would be a type of probation where you don't have a felony conviction on your record if you do it successfully. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have every right to reject that and have your case set for trial. I just want to make sure you understand what the possible consequences are if you go to trial and what your options are. And do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you want to reject this offer and have your case set for trial?
Yes, ma'am.
And is there any reason to believe there would be any different?
In my conversations with Ms. French, I don't believe that there's any reason I think his offer may change, Judge.
Okay,
There is a dispute about the facts right down the line.
okay,
If there's a factual dispute, Judge, that me and Ms. Finch are talking about since she's taking the case over. but
sure. So
that's-
if anything changes, just let me know. So Mr. Bills, well, let's do this. Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you. He's one of the attorneys who handles a lot of cases for me here as a court-appointed attorney. With your permission, I can release him and I can appoint a new attorney today who could begin preparation for trial a little quicker. Is that okay with you? You will keep Mr. Lewis? Mr. Lewis, then we'll get with Ms. French. If anything changes, just let me know before the trial date. Otherwise, we'll set it for trial, okay?
Okay.
All right, stay in touch with Mr. Lewis.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Yes, sir, you too.
I believe this is the case that Mr. Smith spoke to.
Good morning, you're Dermot Cooley.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Cooley is on probation and cause number 16-26460 was previously in court, entered plea of true to count 2. And there was a new case from Dallas County. It's my understanding that Mr. Smith, you do not intend to put on any other evidence with regard to any of the other allegations.
No, Judge. I believe the technicals were addressed in the PSI, but the Dallas County stuff, we do not intend to produce evidence.
And what is your position with regard to sentencing of Mr. Cooley?
Judge, I believe Mr. Cooley, he's only been on probation for a couple of years, so we would ask that he be left on probation with strict instructions to report as directed. As far as if he's in Dallas County, he is going to have to report by mail or online here. Check in with our department and continue to follow or begin following all conditions of probation.
Okay. And he did, he fell true to counts 1 through 7, it looks like.
He pled true to counts 2 and 7. Pled not true to counts 1, 3 through 6 and 8, but I believe count 3 was failed.
I'm looking at the previous motion, sorry. Okay. Has Mr. Cooley been on a drug patch?
He was previously, and we had several issues with it, and
Mr. Cooley, if I test you this morning, you gonna have anything in your system? I want to double check that, okay? Have a seat in the jury box. All right, Mr. Brown, you tested negative. So, any reason not to go forward with sentencing at this time?
No, Judge.
No, you're not. And Mr. Brown, I don't disagree with Mr. Coleman's assessment of kind of what happened that day. It did not go exactly like you said, or it doesn't sound like it went exactly like you're talking about, according to the police and according to some videos that supposedly are out there. I'm going to go along with the plea agreement, but obviously this is very concerning about what happened and you leaving the baby and not knowing if she was there. And I mean, you don't leave a baby on the doorstep. And you can be as mad at her for whatever's going on in y'all's life as you want to be, but that doesn't mean you can do this. And it also doesn't mean that you can be upset with me for having an issue with what went on, right? Okay. So I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney. Defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 3 years. You're ordered to pay the $300 fine and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. If you do that, this is a great opportunity because you don't have a felony conviction on your record. You successfully complete the probation, the case will be dismissed at the end. You'll never have the felony conviction. The other side of that is if you violate any condition of probation, you can be brought back into court and you can be found guilty and sent to the state jail prison for anywhere between 6 months and up to 2 years. Do you understand? It's very important that I can tell you are somewhat, I'm not sure of the right word, but you don't necessarily like what's going on. And I feel like you think that there's some blame maybe on some other person. Let me just tell you, if you have the same attitude that I see now, that with probation, you're not going to go very far with probation. You're going to be right back in here and you're going to be going to prison. It's that simple. So you pled guilty, whatever led up to it that day, you did it. Maybe not to the extent they're saying, but you did it. You left the child. She wasn't there, period. Whatever happened before or after doesn't matter. So do your probation, be respectful to probation, follow the rules, whether you want to or not, and you'll be great. But if not, you're going to be right back in here. Understand? I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. You need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation will call you up when she's ready to go over your paperwork.